We are officially live right now. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Have a seat. We see you out there. Empyrean Vol is in the house already. Peter, I've been meaning to talk to you. Our bazooms will be our weapons. Good morning, Indie Volters.
Good morning. I think you're confusing us with Geekasm.
Good morning. Yeah. This is Sunday morning, Empyrean.
Yeah, so. You need to fix the background, too.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you don't have the Sunday Funnies up.
Thanks for pointing that out. I don't. I would have gone over there when I tried to start our opening here. There we are. Boom.
Oh, look at those. Yeah.
Welcome to the world of funny books. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. Empyrean Vol is in the house.
Woohoo. I've just been doing some sketch cards for Looney Tunes. I'm just going to see if there's any up there.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're all working here today.
No, I don't have anything up there. I did have, I think I've got another background where I've got some Disney material, though. Let's see if I still have that here.
I think I got that Tales from the Universe. I think I got that Tales from the Universe, too.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
I know you did, yeah.
Just a few left.
ElfQuest.
Not very many. Fantasy Quarterly. Not just ElfQuest.
Yeah.
That's their first time being printed there. That was classic stuff. I sold that when I had a comic shop in the back of a pinball arcade. Saw that book come in.
Sweet.
Especially with
cat. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
With the misplaced blue on the character in the back. Yeah. Printed. Just classic stuff. Just Cerebus 6 up there where he's swinging on the chandelier. That was back when Cerebus was more of a barbarian than an autobiography.
Then a tome of philosophy.
Yeah.
I liked about the first 100 issues or so of Cerebus.
That first book is hilarious.
Yeah.
Still holds up. Just where he's like Conan-esque, I guess you would say. Yeah. I have a book I'm working on now that has a fairy character that's very much patterned after Conan, like what Cerebus was.
Oh, cool.
Can't wait to tell some solo stories with him, fighting monster cats, It'll be a lot of fun. Come on in, everybody. This is an episode of Sunday Funnies for the 25th of July, 2021. God. Where is that good? Where's that year going? All of the old people say.
Yeah.
Man, how time flies. We got a lot of people in the house. We got some introductions to do, some new folks, new faces. All happy to have everybody here. And the comment section is already raging. Cameron's in the house. Good morning. Morning, Cameron. Cameron Payne from the desk of Small Press Publisher. Joe, morning,
hey,
all.
Joe.
Working in Daz Studios, waiting on y'all. Yeah, we're here. We're here. Bristolian Dave says, all right, me blabbers.
Hey.
Welcome.
Marv in the house from all the way from Portugal.
Marv.
Good morning to all comic book and cartoon lovers. Not for Kevin Smith. He's worse than Freddy Krueger. He's a nightmare.
Kevin Smith is a hack. He's always been a hack. He lucked out on one good movie. I find it amazing that everyone was expecting so much from him. Stop it.
It always fascinates me greatly when we see the demigods fall. Because you put them up
way too much credit. Please.
You put them up on a high pedestal, and the first mistake they make, just watch them tip over.
It's like I said, he's been a hack, lucked out on one movie, and the fact that people was expecting so much from his reimagining of a toy commercial from the 80s, it's like you all need to calm down. Really, y'all need to calm down.
Obviously, not a He-Man fan. Definitely.
Oh, I am absolutely a He-Man fan. I just don't give a shit about reboots. It's like, as long as I have the originals to look back on, which, by the way, I can't watch those either. Because, look, honey, nostalgia is, those rose-colored nostalgia glasses are blinding. It was hype when I was 12, okay?
Billy Basco says, what's a newspaper? They had comics in the newspaper?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Billy.
Yeah. Hey.
I was honestly, before I restarted Arrow Comics, I was working on a graphic novel explaining the history of comics, because the very much in the vein of the McCloud Understanding Comics book, only told by a little bit more angry monkey.
I used the McCloud book in my class. It's one of my textbooks.
Oh yeah. It is. The Understanding
Nice.
Comics is an amazing piece of work. It
is.
It truly is.
Yeah.
One of those real touchstones that everybody, I think, needs to read. But
I agree. Yeah, his others not
Definitely.
so much.
Hang on, I have a bell for that. Absolutely, his other ones not so much.
Yeah, but yeah, Understanding Comics is very good.
Before I run the opening, and while we're talking about that, here's my story about that. We were at a convention, the All American Heroes Con. This was back in '85, and the reason I remember that is because it was the first issue that the Tales from the Aniverse, that's right above Roland's head, had come out. I was real happy. I was on a cloud. There's so many things happened at that show. Adam West was a guest back during the time when Adam West was bitter, just bitter. And there's a group of us that this was in Detroit. And there was one guest's wife, who I won't name because just to be nice, decided there was a particular restaurant in Windsor, that's in Canada, that they absolutely had to eat at because of a particular diet that she was on. So we all piled into two vans, and Mr. West had a limo because he had demands that had to be met because he was Mr. West. All piled in cars and drove across the border to go to eat at that one particular restaurant. Okay, it's not the service that took 2 hours for us to get served. That was the problem. We were stopped at the border, and there was a group of us piled in a van with no seats.
Oh no!
And I remember Scott McCloud was in that van, and Jill Thompson was in that van, and there was a group of other ones of us, and we got into talking about what we love, comics. And then McCloud sat down and started telling us his theory of superheroes and comics history and all of this. And I remember distinctly in the van, we all looked at him and said, "Dude, you need to make a book of that." Really do.
Wow.
And then, I guess he did 3 times over. The rest is history. Yeah. And that was before everything he told us in that van all ended up in Destroy also. If you remember that book that came out, it was reprinted a number of times from Eclipse. That was all superhero, supervillain fight. That was just classic stuff. And he was like going, no, if you're doing superheroes, you need to do this and this and this and this. And it was all in that Destroy book. It was amazing. It was really cool. Very memorable trip, but for its goods and its bads, because we got there after waiting for service for two hours or so, and West got really mad, and he started, who the heck decided to drive all the way over here to this restaurant?
And then everyone went like that.
Yeah.
Over there.
What's funny is, McCloud. No one knows McCloud for anything other than Understanding Comics now.
Yeah.
But he did a long running book, Zot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which didn't run long enough.
Which is I never really enjoyed it. Of course now.
Really?
Keep in mind this was in the 80s that I read it. So
and we were having that discussion off camera what we were and weren't following. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. But then when I remember how important Understanding Comics was because I was with Malibu at the time, and they bought, I don't know exactly how many copies, but they bought like 200 copies and literally gave every employee a copy of the book and said, read this, learn this, be this, know this.
Yeah.
And I think we even sent it to a couple of select freelancers, and I don't know who was on probably the founders of the Ultraverse. I don't know, but yeah, they bought a whole bunch of copies and handed them out to a whole bunch. I don't know if they handed it out to all the employees, but it sure seemed like it.
Yeah.
That's
Merry
how I got my
Christmas.
first copy.
Merry Christmas. Here's your education. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's how you bump up the numbers, though. Back in the day, that's how they bumped up the numbers, giving it to everybody, you know.
I think Eclipse at the time printed it, didn't they? I think they went through a number of printings on that real quick. Yeah.
I don't know who printed it.
Luckily, Roland can just wheel over to it.
Well, I told you, it's a textbook of mine.
Yeah.
This is actually HarperCollins now. So
okay, yeah. Well, he signed on big time once they found out how many he sold. I would imagine. I'll have to go back and check mine and see where the imprint is. I think I've got it when it was first out. First imprint.
Yeah. It doesn't say here where it was first printed.
And while Roland checks that, we're going to roll our opening. Ooh. So hang on, everybody.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
It's that beautiful bean footage. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Funnies for the 25th of July, 2021. I am your host, Andy Zimmerman. I am a longtime alternative and independent comics producer and creator and everything-er. I have done just about everything in the direct market that you can imagine over the last 3, almost 4 decades now. And real happy to be part of the Indie Volt Radio Network and happy to do this show here on Sunday where we try to put the fun back in funny books. We've got a lot of great guests this morning. And I have a co-host, Miss Daphne Lage. Daphne, introduce yourself.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Daphne Lage, and I am your crabby comic book auntie who's easily annoyed by discourse. I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York, which might explain a lot. And I have been publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which I am getting the proof for the second volume on Monday, and I can't wait. And I'm also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which hopefully I will get the last of these out to all my Kickstarter backers who ordered sketch covers on Mondays. So the last of these is finally going out. So thank you, everybody, for your support. You can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com and egoworks.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
Cool. And that reminds me, I am currently getting ready to ship out
sexy.
the Indie Revolt book that we campaigned. Nice 140 pages thick of short stories.
I can't wait to get that.
A lot of the talent that you see here on the Indie Volt Network on a regular basis. So and a lot of people that are in the chat today have stories in that. Empyrean Vol is in there, and Marvi is in there, especially looking at whoever else is here. It was a lot of fun to do. And it also kicks off Arrow Comics 4.0, where now we're going to be preparing 4 books monthly for the direct market, available through Liberty Entertainment Distribution, ledg.us. So if you get a chance to go over there and take a look at their library is growing of books that are available for immediate purchase for the retailers. They don't offer it unless it's in stock, ready to go into a box and jump onto your shelves as soon as it comes out of that shipping box straight to you.
If you want to see Indie Volt Revolt, you want to see Eagle Raven in your local comic book shop, talk to your retailer to contact Liberty and we'll hook them up.
And there might actually be some extra copies, just a few of the Indie Volt Revolt book available for that as well. But I'm also doing a 32-page floppy, as they say, version for the direct market as well in black and white. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also joining me today, we're very happy to have back again Mr. Roland Mann. Roland, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am Roland Mann. I have been writing comics since the late 1980s. Most folks remember a book I did called Cat and Mouse. But more recently, I've been writing stuff like Trump and Silverline Team Up which is what Peter Clinton is the penciler of, and we are kickstarting right now, and we still haven't yet to make the goal. So we need you guys to get over there and check it out and help us reach that goal. A lot of folks remember me though from my days at Malibu Comics, where I was an editor there. I edited the Protectors line of comics, which was Protectors, Dinosaurs for Hire, X-Mutants, and then when that went away, I became an Ultraverse editor, which is what I think most of folks remember. I edited Prototype. What else did I edit? I edited about half a line. How come I can't think of any of them? Oh, it's probably because I'm still running on a fever here.
It's like if you have it in your collection, he worked on it.
There's about a 50% chance that I edited if it's an Ultraverse. So Prototype, Strangers, Nightman, Sludge, which is one of my favorites because I got to work with Steve Gerber. That's all I can think of for now. So and now I teach during the day, and my nighttime attentions are focused on Silverline. So we are making all kinds of fun comics there.
Sweet. And joining along with Roland today is Peter Clinton. Peter, introduce yourself.
Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on. I'm coming at you from across the pond over in the UK. I'm in London.
Sweet.
So, yeah, like Roland said, I am the penciler on Silverline Team Up, the champion of Miss Fury. I'm a graduate of the Cuba School. I graduated last year. I don't have nearly as many credits as you guys to my name, but we're kind of, yeah, that's about it. I drew Miss Meow for Merc Comics, and yeah, so working with Silverline, we are funding at the moment. We are very close, I think, to achieving our goal. We just need to push over that line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have 7 days to go and 1,300 to get. Actually, 1,250 to get. So we'll look at that. We'll look at that campaign here in a second.
Cool.
So,
thank you.
Also joining us today, we're very happy to have in the house Mr. Peter Palmiotti. Peter, introduce yourself.
Peter.
Hey, everybody. I am Peter Palmiotti. I'm mostly known as an inker. I've been working in the industry since 1991. Most people know me from working on Aquaman back in the day, written by Peter David, penciled by Jim Calfury. I worked from all DC, Valiant, had a few books through Image, been working on a ton of independent publishers' books throughout the years, and now I'm working on my own book, a retro. This is page 20. Get inked, then I'll work on the coloring and production and get it into the hands of, I did like a quick Kickstarter a couple years back just for initial funding, and once it's in those pledgers' hands, I'm going to do an Indiegogo later this year, fingers crossed, hopefully, and so more people can get it. Really excited.
Sure, cool.
And overall nice guy.
That's what people say. I don't believe them all.
We want to welcome aboard everybody listening to us on Indie Volt Radio from all over the world. We're not sure what our numbers are because apparently Varian hasn't gotten out of bed yet, and he hasn't. He's got the graph over there. He's got the software to keep track of such things. So if he comes in later on, we'll get that radio number for you. But we want to tell everyone we deeply appreciate you listening. We've grown quite an audience. We've been doing this for almost a year, I believe. The Sunday Funnies program with Indie Volt has been out for about the last 2.5 years, doing podcasts 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 times a week for a couple hours every day or night, depending upon your time. And we found it very fortunate to start a couple of shows, the Sunday show and the Thursday morning breakfast buzz show at 9 a.m. so that we can catch people in the middle of their afternoon, like Peter Clinton, who's over in London, where it's almost 3:30 his time in the afternoon. So.
2:30.
2:30. Okay.
I just had my lunch. This timing's
Sweet.
Nice.
Another hour and a half.
We're going to be seeing some of this, right?
I usually get up at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. for the Silverline stream. So this is marvelous.
There we go. Yeah, yeah. We have Russ Leach on all the time, and Glenn Fleming from over there in England or Great Britain. So
they're probably next door.
Real happy to have them.
Yeah, we all live next door to each other.
Yeah, they're all 45 minutes away.
They're always less than an hour away.
The drive isn't nearly as far as it is in America.
No.
You drive for hours and hours.
And you're still in Jersey, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Daphne's in New York City. Roland's in Florida. Where in Florida are you? Are you around Florida?
Area.
And where?
Orlando area.
House of Mouse. Right in the middle. Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Cool.
And I'm just 2 miles south of the safe water line from Flint, Michigan. So
safe water line.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm originally from New York, but I'm in Kentucky now.
Kentucky. Wow. Where in Kentucky?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you.
I'm in a small town called Campbellsville, which is like an hour south of Louisville.
Sweet.
It's nice. It's nice out here.
Well, which means that he has a house that probably has space. I mean, you see the background on Peter Clinton's. So New York and London are like the same. That's the extent of his apartment.
Yeah,
that's the extent of our space. So
Kentucky
Palmiotti has an actual, giant house to go to.
I spent a year.
I'm in Nashville. Kentucky's near Nashville.
I wish.
I spent a year as a traveling furniture. I spent a year as a traveling furniture salesman. And one of my states was Kentucky. And man, that is probably, in my opinion, the most beautiful state there is. It is just gorgeous there.
I don't know. North Carolina is up there.
Yeah, but
North Carolina. I mean, there's a stretch of highway on there. That's
it's more heavily populated.
To drive
Kentucky is, and I don't like people so much. And it's so
wonderful. Wonderful. I don't like people.
I have a lawyer friend from Middlesboro down there in Kentucky. That's in the most southern eastern city that you can get to, right next to the Cumberland Gap. And,
sure, yeah. I did a convention up there a couple of years in a little place called Pikeville.
Pineville?
Pikeville.
Pike,
yeah.
I was going to say I know where Pineville is.
No, this is Pikeville. It's just there in the corner as well.
Yeah, what a great state, really beautiful scenery.
Yeah,
Cumberland Gap's amazing. Yeah. But hey, we're here to talk about comics.
Yay!
Not give you a tour of the states.
Not give us a tour of the states. Yeah.
Because I'm very lost. I know where New York is, and that's about it.
Oh, you know where Florida is. You know where Orlando.
Yeah. That's where Florida is.
That's the bottom bit. Yeah.
You know where you know where Michigan is. All you gotta do is hold up your hand. I'm right about there in Michigan.
I know where Michigan is because I just watched a documentary about Michigan.
What on earth kind of documentary did you watch?
It was following around the police of Flint.
Oh yeah,
that
is the most
You're
horrible.
Watching Cops.
No,
it's cops.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, right. And it's horribly depressive and over dramatized.
I don't know if I finished it. I don't think I finished the series. It did get a bit down.
There's 2 spots that are about 2 square miles of the desolation that they went through and filmed that they show over and over and over again, and they make Flint look like a real slum area when there's really a large variety of people here. We were really the start of the UAW up here, and the auto manufacturing. GM came out of Flint in the Detroit area because of all the weird. We still have a section of Flint in the north called Carriage Town, where they started the first horseless carriages out of. So,
my dad was actually born. My whole family's from Arkansas, but my dad was actually born in Flint because just prior to World War II starting, my grandparents moved to Flint so that my grandfather could work in the factories. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so my dad was born there, and then when my grandfather went into the service, they moved back to Arkansas. So,
And my dad went in and out of Buick. The wife's dad went in and out of Chevy. In fact, he was in a plant that they called Chevy in the Hole, which was located right over top of the Flint River. So they had a place to dump all of their chemicals back in the early 1900s.
Oh, that's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wonderful. So that it's now a park. In fact, they've torn it all down, and the land there is so polluted. They had to go through and cover it with 6 inches of topsoil in order for people to be able to just walk on it. You can't live on it. They can walk on it, and they've turned it. They've gone through and laid in a bunch of sidewalks and turned it into a state park.
Wow!
Or they're trying to turn it into a state park, because Flint ended up acquiring so much land over the years. That and the U of M Flint. And anytime a large business went out, they donated the land to the city, so they didn't have to worry about it. And then the bailout that GM had under, I believe it was the Obama administration, completely relieved them of all of their environmental concerns.
Wow.
To put it nicely.
How convenient.
And and threw that up on the state and the cities. So there's still a few areas in Flint that you don't stay on for very long that are still not developed and just left to rot.
You know, I've never been to the state of Michigan at all.
Oh,
never.
When your next holiday comes up, there you go.
Well, all you hear about is Flint and Detroit, but you don't ever hear about the beautiful scenery or we've got more shoreline than any other state, counting around the Great Lakes. It's just amazing, just phenomenal. Especially the Upper Peninsula is about as desolate as you could ever imagine a state being if you love trees. and natural wonders. That's where you go. We try to get up there every couple of years or so, just to drive through the area. It's beautiful. Anyway, again, that's not about comics. So let's talk comics.
We're not the Michigan Tourism Board here.
Yeah, hey, Michigan. We have well, anyway, I won't go any farther. We can talk about
we can do another
politics and natural wonders and all of that all day long. I could work for the tourist board real easy. But anyway, welcome to the Sunday Funnies. Let's talk funnies. Let's talk comics. Peter, what's up? Silverline? Peter Clinton, that is. I got to remember we have 2 Peters on board today.
Silverline Comics, Silverline team up. That's what we're kickstarting at the moment. Roland will tell you better, but Silverline are pumping out comics left, right, and center. But
that's right.
Let's pull that up. So many comics they have to put 2 in at once.
That's right.
Basically,
it's a Silverline double feature. Silverline team up number 1 and Bea.
That's right, Bea. I'm gonna get me that Bea.
2 very different comics. So whatever you like, you're gonna get what you're gonna get it. Whether you like the superheroes or you like Bea.
Not just superheroes. Not just superheroes, but classic superheroes. Miss Fury is in there.
Fury,
public domain character, along with Champion.
Yep.
Tell us about it, Roland.
Absolutely, yeah. So you mentioned the 2-in-1. So what we've been doing is we've been doing these classic flip books, okay, and they have been working out pretty well. The flip books are exclusive to the Kickstarter. You'll still be able to, obviously, we make comics, so you'll still be able to get the comics after the campaign is over. But if you want the exclusive book that comes with the Kickstarter, you got to back the Kickstarter, and that's the flip book. And those are the 2 covers. I've got to update those images because I have the colors and the inks for those, so I can update those. But yeah, so let me tell you about them. So Silverline Team Up is a story of Champion and Miss Fury. Champion's personal life is totally shot, and while he continually puts his life at risk as a firefighter, he seems to only grow physically stronger, and he can't understand why. So he seeks the advice of his friend, who is a physician, and his physician says, you just need to get away for a while. So he invites him to go to New Orleans with him. And that is where he is found by Miss Fury, and he just discovers that he can't run from Chicago to New Orleans to get away from his troubles, that his troubles have followed him to New Orleans. That's and can you believe, listen, here's the deal. And I haven't gone through and double checked, But can you believe there's so much of Pete's gorgeous artwork that's still available? These are
you have to pay for shipping from the UK.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I think all these pages Pete has made available for the Kickstarter backers. Use an add-on if you want to get it. All you got to do is go click add-on, and there it is. Those inks, they're inked pages. I think only one of those have gone. So we've still got all kinds of original artwork. See that page page 17. That's the first appearance of Miss Fury in her costume. Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing we put that in, because I was going to keep that page. I thought, no, put it in. If it goes, it goes. If not, I'll keep it.
Yeah, don't you hate that when it's like, you just draw something and it's like all of a sudden you really don't want to get you don't want to give it away or get rid of it, but you have to.
I got happy with that page 22. That came out nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And it's usually always the first pages that sell too. They're the ones that you're the most connected to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then Bear is a story of okay, so you're looking now at all the
I was scrolling down to Bear, but that's all right.
Okay.
We're looking at all of the different Silverline books.
Yep, those are the back issues there. This is one of the things I love about the add-ons that the Kickstarters let you do now, is that you can go through and you say, hey, I missed some of these issues. I'm going to just add them on.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, I love this. We moved, our last Kickstarter, we moved 56 back issues.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's been real nice. And so that's just the kind of the this is what we've been doing the last couple of years. As Pete said, we've been putting out fun comics continually. And so that's it right there. You can get them all if you want to.
Twilight Grim Trumps, which has nothing to do with the ex-president.
Nope.
Cards, not politics.
Yeah.
Teen Beat, Switchblade, Steam Patriot, Kalis, Friar Rush, Bloodline, Divinity.
The award-winning Divinities.
The award-winning Divinity.
That's award-winning Divinity.
Yep.
Was that an Eisner or?
No, that was indie. I can't remember now.
It was an award.
It was an indie organization award.
All right.
I can't remember the exact name of it. But there's that page colored.
It is
that Miss Fury page. Yeah, gorgeous page.
Yep, sweet.
And so then there's that kind of our throwback homage to the 90s there, when he's got all that gear and all the pouches and stuff on.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, that panel is so cringy to look at. It's not even funny. It's like, oh my God,
overabundance of pouches and cartridges. Yeah.
Well, that does play into the story, but it was fun.
Be funny.
It was fun to write. It was
fun to write. It was fun to write. Then someone's got to draw it. I don't know how the guys in the 90s did that. Page after page.
It's like you're drawing like this.
Right.
Oh my God, what am I doing?
Even Liefeld recognizes it's a problem. He's done a character named Pouch. That's all made up of pouches.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
He's very self-aware of
I love that panel right there, that blam.
The bottom blam
panel.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so sweet.
That's gorgeous.
Turned out really well. I love that sound effect.
Yeah.
Great.
So I mean, you could see it's gorgeous artwork. I'm blessed to have such an amazing team working on this book. And Randy, I should add, the book's done. All done. All we got to do is, we're getting the money so that we can print them and ship them. I know we haven't talked about Bear yet, but it's done also. So both books are finished, and all we got to do is get that money to print them and ship them out. And so let me tell you just a little bit about Bear. So
as Monty Python would say, and now for something completely different.
Completely different. That's right. So when the kid goes missing from the playroom, most of the inhabitants think he's dead, but not Bear. He's a stuffed bear.
He's dead. The kid's died. He's dead.
Right. Yeah. He's been thrown away. That's the term that they use, right? If you, when your toys get old and broken, you throw them away. And so they think he's been thrown away. But Bear tells everyone the kid is coming back to get them and take them to the big house where he's working on a new room for them. They don't believe Bear, and chaos and lawlessness ensues, and it's Bear's job to put it back in order.
And there he is going into, is that a restaurant or a bar? Restaurant.
That's the local Greasy Spoon. That's
Greasy
called the Stump.
Dancing on the tables.
Yep.
Hey, the turtle.
There's the turtle. Yeah.
Toys gone wild.
And some
toys
gone
wild. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a barrel of monkeys there.
Barrel of monkeys in the background there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of an Eeyore looking donkey there.
Yep. His name is Jack.
Jack.
Yeah, guess what he has in his pocket.
Yep, that's right.
Oh yeah.
A
little bit of Jack.
Course, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is when this scene here is when it's all kind of first happening. Everyone is like, "Hey, the kid is dead! Woohoo!" And then they all erupt into massive partying and then destroying the Stump.
We're no longer imprisoned in a box. Yay.
That's right. Yeah, the owner is a friend of Bea, so he's there to help her. And that's why he growls like that, because he's like, "Yo, stop it! You're ruining the Stump." So yeah.
Is that a sock monkey? Looks like a sock monkey. Right there on the floor, right there. Face down on the floor. I swear it's a sock monkey. Oh no! Yeah, it could be right there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. As Pete said, two very different books.
Very different books.
Yep. So, but we think you're gonna like them. They're done. They're done, and they're ready to go. Matter of fact, I think Randy, I sent you previews, didn't I?
I am not sure if you emailed them to me or not.
I'm not sure.
Oh no, I think you did. I think you emailed me some. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm afraid I haven't had the time to open
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. But yeah, so still lots of original art left. There's the covers there, the Pete pencils. There's commissions left, I think. I think there's
a couple. I'm not sure.
Yeah, commissions.
I think all the color commissions are gone.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to announce. Hopefully, I'm going to do that today. Getting ready to announce a super commission. Yeah, a big one. Where you'll be able to get a pencils from Pete, the inks from Tommy, and the colors from Roberta, all in which is the Silverline Team Up team. So yeah, there's commissions left. Haley's just added a bunch of commissions. Tommy still got a couple of them in his Kid Hero style, and Pete still got a couple left. So, and there's lots of original art. So I even made that little video right there. So one of the things that I found is that people were like, "We don't know how to do add-ons," and I'm like, of course, I'm sitting there thinking, I do enough Kickstarters that it's self-explanatory to me.
Yeah.
But I'd like, what? I'll put together a little video and say, here's how you do an add-on. And so I just walk people through the process of adding add-ons. So the little, 45-second videos, not very long at all. But
did that help you with your add-ons?
You know what? I can't ask me in a week, in a day.
Yeah. Okay. Can we play that?
Yeah, you can if you want to. That's fine. It's not terribly exciting.
Make a quick little video that explains to you how to do an add-on, how to add an add-on.
Can you hear it all right?
So you'll notice we'll go down here to the Kickstarter, go down to add-on so that you can see what's available. I'm going to put the video right there. Hopefully when I'm done, you'll see we got a Peter Clinton commission that you can get. There's only 4 of those left, so the other ones are gone. There's a Thomas Formonti commission, and then there's the original art. I know the inks are coming, so I'm going to add them there. But all this original art is still available. Like there's page 8 of the pencils for the Silverline Team Up by Peter Clinton. And so, but before you choose an add-on, where you decide what you want, you got to go and decide what reward tier. But you can't get the digital double because it's digital and you're not shipping anything. So you got to decide, do you want the Silverline double feature, which is the flip book? Do you want them signed, which is the flip book, of course, with the autographs? It's going to be signed by me and Haley and Tommy. Or do you want the completist, which has the flip book plus all of the variant covers so that you can get it all. That's why it's called the completest, right? So that's what we're going to select. And then we're going to continue. And then that's going to take us to the add-on page. So it shows we've selected the completest. And now all of these are add-ons. And you can see there at the top, the first one up there is a Silverline signature book. They're all listed there in order of how much money they cost. So for some of these, you can even get more than one copy. So for the comics, like the signature book, you can just say, hey, I'm going to get one for me, and then I'm going to get one for my friend, and get them signed because I'm going to see you. And so you can see we have a bunch of the back stock. Everything that we've published so far within the last couple of years is available. You look down and you can see there's the Thomas Formonti commission, there's the Peter Clinton commission, and then a bunch of the original art. So we're just going to say, hey, I want to get the pencils for the Bear Kickstarter exclusive cover done by Dean Zachary. You can see, you can read the details there. If I've written too much, you can click the little read more drop down. But then you can add, and you can see it's limited to one because there's only one original art for that. And you can see once you've selected the add-ons you want, you hit continue. And then it'll take you to the next page, and you can see it'll list the reward you have. We selected the completest. And then it lists the add-ons. We've got the Silverline signature book. There's 2 copies of that. And we've got the original pencils, the Kickstarter exclusive cover by Dean Zachary, and then you just click that you understand and check out.
Sweet.
Okay. So it was longer than 45 seconds, but
I was just writing down
not by much
details there.
Well, I have a question about the whole add-ons thing too, because I'm new to it because my last campaign was the first time that and there was some. So you have to choose a physical level to get access to the add-ons.
Well, you have to choose a physical level to get access to the physical add-ons. Yes.
Right. So it's not like you can choose a digital level and then add a physical add-on.
No, you cannot.
Right. Okay.
No.
And also it's like you can't do that like contribution level too, where you can just like add $1 and then it gives you access to the add-ons.
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh yeah, because I've heard someone mention that, and I was like, and I'm not sure either if that's how that works. Like that contribution, like donate whatever you want.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know the answer to that. Yeah.
You want the book though, right? Everyone wants the book.
Yeah.
Well, right. That's what I was thinking.
It wants me to create an account. I'd have to sign in. So
you do have to sign in.
Yeah.
Right. I'm always assuming that people would want the latest level or latest book that's available, but I was just kind of, like I said, someone had mentioned it, and I kind of wondered if that worked. So yeah, I probably would have to try it on my end to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't get over there and try it now.
You think everyone wants the book, but I can tell you someone who didn't want the book. My mum.
Uh-oh. She only wanted to donate $1.
I said, Mum, you're gonna back the book, right? She said, well, I don't want a comic book.
Wow.
So
it's okay. My mom's the same way.
She backed it just for just the money, no reward.
But Mom,
you don't want the book? You're gonna get the book. I don't need the book.
So, Mom, I drew the book. So, Daphne, I have an answer for you. The answer is no. You do not get access to the add-ons.
Okay, so there you go. So everybody, there you go. So you have to get a physical level to have access to the physical add-ons.
Yep.
Here we go.
So
learn something new.
Yeah, because I really wasn't sure about that, because I'm like, I don't know the answer to that. But no, I have had a couple of people email me, and then they would say, hey, these add-ons aren't available to me. And of course I'm thinking, oh crap, it's broken. What did I do wrong? And then I go poking around, and then I find out, oh, you backed at the digital level. Of course they're not available to you, right? So I have to send them a message like, well, you got to get a physical book if you want, some of the physical add-ons.
Oh, here's one more question too. It's like for everybody who's like, this is Kickstarter, discussion though. It's like, I'm sorry if
it's okay.
But it all ties into comics
because we want them to go back our Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now, is it possible to set it up so that for a digital reward, you get digital add-ons?
You know,
do they have, does Kickstarter have it set up like that?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
We don't,
so I would have to look into that too.
Yeah, because we don't do.
That might be very interesting.
Yeah, I would. You know what? I'm going to tell you that I think the answer to that is probably yes.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I don't know, because every time I make an add-on, it doesn't allow me to make the distinction that it's a digital thing. So I'm kind of wondering.
It does, because well, yeah, think about it, right? So when you go down, it says, "Where is this available?" And
that's right.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what I'm missing. Okay,
yeah.
That's right. It's in the shipping. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I have to try that then.
While I haven't done one, I'm going to say I strongly suspect that you are able to add a digital add-on.
What a great way to add a Silverline sampler pack.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Of a few of the number ones, you know, three number one books for a slightly, you know, additional price.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here's one more question too, but it has but it has to do.
Keep it going. Keep it going. We're all full of questions.
Thing.
Okay.
Right. So that flip book thing. So is there a reason you just, because people do like individual, like issue ones?
Yeah.
So do you feel that doing a flip book kind of like I don't want to alienate is not the word I'm looking for, but it's like the people who are looking for number ones, and you have a flip book. Is there a reason why you did a flip book as opposed to doing just like two separate issues at the same time?
Yeah. Well, there are a couple of thoughts behind that. The first one is we were looking to do exclusive stuff, right? And what we want to try to do is make sure that when you back a Kickstarter project from us, you're going to get something exclusive. Let me tell you a story. I'm not gonna name names here, but I'm gonna tell you a story.
Okay.
So I backed a Kickstarter. This goes back 4 years ago, something like that. So I backed a Kickstarter one time that was promoted as, you know, a Kickstarter exclusive comic, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh cool, you know. And I'll confess, I'm still just geeky enough and collector enough that I'm like, cool. I'm gonna back this, and I'm gonna be one of only 100 that gets this Kickstarter exclusive copy. I'm going to be one of those people, right? And so I did, backed it, blah, blah, blah. And several months later at a convention, I run up on the creator who is there, and I'm like, oh, cool. Hey, I backed your project, da, 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 da. And I get to looking around, and then there's a stack of books that say Kickstarter exclusive comics. And I'm like, wait.
Did you even get your stuff in the mail first?
No, I did.
Oh, okay, all right.
But my thing was that, hey, I thought this was exclusive to Kickstarter backers. His answer was, and I just had to laugh, right? His answer was, well, we had some extras. I'm like, it's print on demand. You can have as many extras as you want. Right, what are you talking about? You had extras. Come on, dude. And,
but seriously though, as somebody who just went through a print-on-demand book with the Revolt book, I overprinted on purpose just in case there were damages or extras that the talent wanted.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, we provide creators with copies of the Kickstarter stuff, right? But we don't. Now we may give them away. Because I think for this, like for instance, for the Switchblade, I know that just because I just saw them on the table. I think we have 5 copies left from what we printed, right?
Sure.
But I'm not going to take those to a convention and sell, because then that means it's not really Kickstarter exclusive, is it?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
If it's Kickstarter, because the least he could have done was save those extra copies for his next Kickstarter.
Sure. Yeah.
And like made them available there. So it's like it always stays on Kickstarter.
Or use them as giveaways. Yeah.
Right.
Use them as giveaways.
Yeah.
Give something away, but don't tell me that I'm in this day of print on demand that this is a so long. That was a long story to get to. We wanted to do something exclusive for Kickstarter. Flip books are kind of nostalgic. People kind of like those. I find that people are backing Kickstarters because they want to support you, and because they're looking for that kind of exclusive thing that they can get. If they really want to get the book, they're going to go ahead and buy another copy of the book when they see you at a convention or they're going to order it, So for us, it was that we were trying to do something that we weren't going to, because I'm not going to print a flip book to take to the shows, right? It's just I don't know that they're nostalgic, but I don't know that they're popular with the masses.
Mm-hmm.
But when we show up, when you see me at a convention next, I'm going to have a copy of, Bear #1 and Silverline Team Up #1.
Oh, okay. So
see?
they'll be, so at conventions, they'll be like kind of like, so outside of Kickstarter, they'll be separate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
And in fact, there is a completist tier that you can get the flip book, and you can also get the individual Bear one with the cover A and the individual.
Okay.
So they're available individually.
Right.
It's just the Kickstarter exclusive is a flip book.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I obviously, I'm collector enough to know that hopefully down the road in a couple years, once we get Silverline Team Up out to the masses and get it into comic shops, then there will be the Kickstarter backers that say, hey, I've got one of these exclusive flip books that's rare. You've got the first issue. Great. I do too, but I've got the flip book that's rare. So that's the thinking behind it.
Okay.
Does it work? Is it real?
Well, it's like anything. It's just another marketing thing that you're trying to figure out.
Right.
And
But
okay, but at least that, okay. So if you're interested in individual first issues, that's also available too.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my case with the Revolt book, I did 2 different cover sets because I got some great artwork in, and I'm like, man, that really needs to be a cover. Well, and instead of offering 4 variant covers, I'm offering two sets as a flip book, so that you can take it.
And see, that's another way you can do it
and turn it right over. Yeah.
You can have you can still have the one copy, and you can just have a Kickstarter exclusive cover.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the only way you can get that cover is to back the Kickstarter. So I'm a fan of the I back a lot of Kickstarters. I'm a fan of the Kickstarter exclusive thing, because number one, I know that what we pay, what fans are paying on Kickstarter is more than what it's more. But they're doing it, and I know as a backer, I know that, okay, look, I'm going to back this book. There's no way it's costing this much, right? There's no way. So if you can give me a little incentive to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this here. So it's only available to Kickstarter backers. Then that makes me feel a little bit better about spending, 4 times the amount that I normally would on a book,
Exactly. Yeah.
So
true.
Yeah. Cause that's what a lot of people kind of like, they still don't understand about Kickstarter is like, it's not a retailer. You're paying premium to support these books because you're directly supporting these books and the creator.
Right.
I mean, when you go to a retail shop, that's a completely different thing. And, and by the way, it's like when you support a Kickstarter, you're getting most of the time you're getting like a whole bunch of other extras that you would never get in a comic book shop.
Right. Yeah.
You're getting stickers, you're getting postcards, you're getting metal bookmarks, you're getting all sorts of neat little things, little collector things that come with your premium book. So nobody think of Kickstarter as just a substitute for your local comic book shop. It's a completely different animal.
And
Joe from a desk of a small go ahead. Go ahead, Peter.
If you pledge to Kickstarter, you get the books before the comic stores or conventions or anywhere else,
Hopefully that's the way it always works.
Yeah.
Well, I like to think that the money that you're pledging, okay, you're going to get your book, but it's going to the creators that made that book. Right? It's not going to Disney or Warner Bros.
Right, exactly.
On most campaigns,
on most, that's what you like to think anyway. So I'm happy to pay a bit more.
Right.
Yes.
I'm a creator, and I know how hard it is, and I know we don't make a load of money. So if I can, if my $15 or $10, whatever it might be, helps, then I'll get a book, and great, I'm happy with that. That's fine.
And your money can help the creator buy a McWhopper, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Ferrari, whatever it might be.
Ferrari.
Joe from
Yeah,
a desk of a small press publisher says, how people age from comic teenager to cranky auntie. They grow up so fast.
That's what this industry does to you.
Yeah.
Joe also says, Peter Palmiotti is a nice guy. I should know. He was one of the first who welcomed me into the industry.
Yeah.
Very
What a
cool.
guy.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
And Bristolian says, a fellow UKer. Marv says, Mr. P.
So go back it. Support your fellow UKer.
We it does say on the Kickstarter that it's US only, but we do ship to the UK if you let us know, and I can get it to you.
There you go. Yeah.
You can walk over.
Terry McIver says you've got at least one viewer in Ireland. Thank you, Terry. Thanks a lot for listening.
I can't walk it to Ireland, but we can get it to Ireland.
Rival Turtles in South Carolina. Looking forward, Chris, seeing you in a couple weeks. Glad you're coming up. Marvy says the like button, guys. Yes, hit that like button if you can. If you have a chance, over
you know
on.
what? Smash that. It's the algorithm. Smash that dislike button too. If you're if you
have to.
All the buttons make the algorithm happy.
But I was going to say, if there's any way for you to get over to YouTube and you haven't subscribed to the Indie Volt channel, please do so. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. It's not even funny. And once we break that, we will be able to monetize, and then we'll be reading super chats and cartoon voices and watching everything that we say and do in the hopes that we fall within YouTube's ever-changing, ever-evolving guidelines. So that's the Indie Volt channel. Go over there and subscribe now. Hit that bell for notifications, because you never know when Varian has an itch to go on the air. So outside of our regularly scheduled programming. Excellent Skeletor. Joe says, somebody, good morning, gang, from Creators Outlet. Sup, creators?
Hey.
Joe says, Silverline. Cameron says, hey, Creators Outlet. Hey, Will, add-ons are nice. Says Critical Blast for the customer, but awkward for the fulfillment because they become new line items in the CSV.
You know, the first one.
CSV.
When you download the Excel spreadsheet from Kickstarter, it's a hot mess.
You know what?
It takes
I figured it out.
Oh, did you? Tell me your secrets.
Did. But no. It's just because the first one I did was a hot mess because I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, who got what? I don't understand. Right. So their fulfillment. So let me back up just a little bit. So I love the add-ons, but the way they report them is still a little clunky because the only, like, if Pete says, hey, you know, what's available of mine, I can go figure out what's available, but I don't know who's got it. Right. So I would literally have to go and search through all of the backers to see who's got. Now, if it's a commission or something like that, usually the dollar amount will help give it away as far as the pledges go. But I'm still going to have to go and search through those. But when it comes time to fulfill, no, I mean I just ran out a spreadsheet, and it literally, of course, now I print out. So my last one. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to turn my camera off.
You have a lot of add-ons.
I'm going to turn my camera off just a second, and I'm going to show you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then, meanwhile, Apex Comics says Indie Volt should have 100+ in the chat. Great show. Thank you, Apex.
Thank you.
Appreciate you very much. Hello from the desk of a small press publisher. That was some great information. Joe says
we try.
Bounty extra for printing and shipping. That's why it's expensive. Yep.
Yeah.
And now,
we've had that before.
And now it's like the EU. You have to worry about whether your thing's going to get VAT taxes put on it.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're good prices, because I get contacted with my guys, my friends and creators in America, and they're saying, "Oh, what do we put on our shipping labels to ship stuff to the UK? Because apparently your costs are going a bit crazy." Of what you're
well, not only that, it's like, but we also have to register with the British government and get like their own tax number that we have to report on every 3 months. And a lot of people are just saying, sorry, we're not shipping to the UK. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm one of those people. So You know, sorry guys. I'll wait until I'll wait until your country gets your shit together with shipping, and then we'll go back to it.
So
Apex says subscribe. Thank you very much. Apex says give me some love. Take all the love you can. Apex, absolutely. Right, I'm gonna blow that up. Roland, give me just a second here.
Oh my god, that's exactly what it is.
Look at that! Wow,
hey, look at that.
Exactly.
Fun.
Yeah. That's exactly what I did. Oh my god, there is no elegant way of doing this.
So now,
and that was a campaign with 10 backers. Wow.
So essentially, what I've got here, this is all the add-ons, right?
Yeah.
So, and you can see where I pink was my highlight there. So I was like, okay, like you can see this person right here, they got like one of everything, right? All the add-ons there.
I'm really glad this is far enough away that you're not doxing everybody right now.
Yeah, no. That's why I wanted to make sure that was my first thought.
Yeah, please keep that away from the camera.
Screenshot that.
That would be very embarrassing. Yes.
But yeah, so this is what I had to fix. Now I didn't do this with my first one, and it was a big mess. But the second one, you see, I did with the add-ons. I put that there, and it made it so much easier. Yep.
Yeah, you see, because I had to do the same. There's no addresses on here, so it's like So I just narrowed down the CSV file to just the add-ons and the names, and then this is what I had to deal with. I mean, okay, I thought maybe you had some kind of secret.
No.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah, I just took their file. And remove the columns and that I didn't need, because some of it is. But once you figure out kind of how to read it, it's not hard at all. It's just a pain to do. But no, it's not that hard.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how they do it on Indiegogo, how they do add-ons, but I'm hoping it's not this complicated.
It's a list, and it's so convenient. I can't.
Really? Of course.
I can't tell you how great it is. That Kickstarter got the idea of throwing the add-ons on. Indiegogo was doing it.
It's just that.
On my list, I have the person's address and every add-on that they have already listed there. Of course, I only had one add-on, but I have two different sets of the book. I have a retailer perk. I have a electronic file. So I'm able to go through and read who gets what, and we really didn't have a whole lot of backers for the Revolt book, so it's going to be real easy to put things together correctly and mail them all out. Had a retailer tier also, where a retailer could come in and buy 3 of each cover set at once, so 6 books for $75.
Yeah,
so
we've always got a retailer tier, and for the most part, we don't have retailers take us up on it, which I don't understand. But my local retailer here, Coliseum of Comics, I got to give them a shout out because they basically support everyone that we do. They've even supported this last one here. So I always tell folks, if you're in Orlando and you want to find Silverline Comics, go to Coliseum of Comics because they are carrying our books. So.
Apex seems to think he's invisible. You're not invisible. We just don't get to the chat as often as we'd like.
Right? No. We see you.
Yeah. Marv admits he's addicted to making Kevin Smith memes, but that's okay. I can't stop. I need professional help. I just did another one.
You gotta relax, dude. You gotta relax. The original He-Man still exists. It's like you can. It's on Netflix along with the original She-Ra. We can enjoy those. Don't worry about shitty remakes.
I think you're going to see.
Breathe in.
I think you're going to see a big rush, and if you're not already, to the classic material now that whenever a new reboot comes out and it's so terrible, you go back and you relive the old nostalgia. So.
It's for babies, okay? They're making the new stuff for like 12-year-olds and under. It's like, but they're for some reason they're trying to cash in on the nostalgia factor without really taking any of that into consideration. So you really, because it's the same thing that happened to me with the new She-Ra. I could only watch the first 10 minutes of it before I go, I am definitely not the demographic for this. But they had the original She-Ra episodes on Netflix too. So if you want to watch the original stuff, it's there. Don't pay so much mind to the new stuff, because in the end, it really it's for babies. Okay, it'll save you a lot of grief.
and folks, I can attest to the fact that it only gets worse when you get older, because I felt that way about Cartoon Network for decades. When they tried to resurrect Johnny Quest, it was just one big hot mess to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm putting my head in my hands and, oh, why are they doing this? Don't do it. Don't do it. But I did go out and get the DVDs of the original season.
Right, exactly. That's what you do.
They still hold up, and they're still fantastic. So.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's kind of like how the really big trend now is everyone going back into the like dollar bins and stuff in their local comic book shops. Mm-hmm. Everybody is realizing what the old stuff is really worth entertainment wise.
Yeah, now I've seen some videos now where the retailers will go, I know that book is $10. I stuck it in the dollar box anyway, because I only paid 50 cents for the thing to start with.
Right.
And if I get some fan going through finding a book in the dollar bin and he's like, oh, this is worth $10, I'm going to get one over. He's going to go through all of the rest of the boxes.
Right, exactly.
And look at everything. So you salt that mine.
Yeah. And before you know it, the dude is spending $50 on dollar comics, and you've made up the money on whatever that one book would have been.
And guess what? He might actually sit and read those and come back and dig up the rest of some stray comic that he picked up, that he's never tried before.
And he'll be back next week.
I always tell folks, if you really need, if you get a chance to take a couple of hours out and go through your local retailer, get on your hands and knees and go through those boxes that are closest to the floor. Because 9 times out of 10, they've been sitting there for years and your retailer hasn't bothered to go through and reprice them. And you can find some, as long as they don't put a sign up, because they're doing that now too. Prices are liquid depending upon collectability.
I saw that.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That caused a big,
that's rude.
Yeah, that caused a big, massive storm on Twitter, didn't it?
Every video I saw said, "That's the retailer I walk out on."
Yep.
Yeah. When I see that sign, I turn right around and walk right back
dollar
out.
Boxes are dollar boxes, and they have an entire basement. Everything, it's like, but the thing is, they do have a separate section where the prices do change, but they also mark that there, so know what. But the dollar boxes are dollar boxes.
Well, when something's it's the retailer's responsibility to stay up on trends on the market.
Yeah.
I remember, and I'm sure Roland does. Everybody here probably remembers going through dollar boxes and seeing every 70s Kirby book.
Oh yeah,
that was out available in those dollar boxes, and now every last one of those books you can't find for under $30.
You know what it is? Those are retailers that are pretty much taking advantage of people digging through those boxes to find the stuff that they don't want to look for.
Yeah.
So you know what? If a retailer does that, it's like, look, you're not an employee, you don't work there, don't do the retailer's job. Go find a place with real dollar boxes.
Especially now that the back issue market is really starting to pick up real hard, and the reading market as well. That's why a lot of these retailers are stocking, salting and restocking their dollar boxes, because there's a lot of movement in there, and there's a lot to be said for somebody walking out with a stack of dollar books.
Yeah.
That's even if they're mangled and unreadable. You got
a value. I mean, it does, because it's like, JD does that every like couple of weeks, and he walks out with like $10 worth of books, and it's like, it's like, oh, just like the good old days.
Yeah, exactly.
I buy my comics two ways. One on Kickstarter and one out of the cheap boxes.
Yep.
I will buy stuff out of the cheap boxes that I think, maybe okay, I'll get it. And even if I think, okay, well, you know what, I may not like this, but I'm going to grab it anyway, and I'm going to flip through it, and and this might be something. Hey, I'll send to Pete. Pete might like this, right?
Yeah.
And that's I'll buy. If I can buy them for 50 cents or $1, I'll absolutely do that.
Either Pete.
Right. Also,
either Pete.
What JD does too is that he rescues books from dollar bins too.
There you go.
Like books that he feels that's like, oh, this should not be, like any kind of continuity stuff, or whatnot. It's like, oh, this should be
continuity.
Here.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be here.
Anytime I go through one of those books and see an 80s Arrow book, one of those boxes, and see an 80s Arrow book, I automatically pull it.
We're rescuing them. Yeah.
I was about to ask you, do you buy your own stuff?
Yes,
I do.
yes, we
Yeah,
do.
I buy most of my own stuff. There's like 2 miniseries that I won't touch. It's like no.
Wow.
You need to stay there. You need to stay in the cheap box.
Yeah, there's some
wow.
stuff I inked and some stuff I lettered I won't touch. But if I did it myself and printed it, and I see it in the dollar bin, that's like, oh no, this doesn't need to be here. I'll just take it and put it in a bag and charge $3 for it, and leave it, take it to the shows and run it forever. Yeah. Especially, hey, Peter, those old Mythic comics. Remember those Mythic comics? Palmiotti?
Yeah.
You started out working at Mythic, didn't you?
I might have done something for them. I know, like, probably my brother definitely.
That's a deep dive, isn't it? That's a deep dive.
It's like
if you're like me, it's the company you never got paid
I worked on
from.
so many books I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know Mythic. I don't think.
I did that. They were a company out of Canada. I did 3 books for them. Never got any money from them. I got books from them, thank goodness. But never got any money from them.
Oh, that was Bruiser. That was
yes, you did Bruiser for them.
Yeah, Pia Guerrero, who went on to do Why the Last Man.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She did awesome work. Yeah.
I did 2 issues of The Fool and 1 issue of Unforgiven through them. Yeah. Never saw. They told me Unforgiven sold incredibly well. I said, great, send me some royalties. Never heard from them again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do remember I got partially paid, but never heard from them again. Yeah.
Oh, man. Good on you.
The good old days.
Getting some money from them. They're like, yeah, it sold great. Send us the next one. I said, cool. Send me some money. And they never did. So I never sent them the next one.
Yeah.
Those are the good old days. We've all been burned for these little publishers. We print our own stuff. But I still, like I was going to say, I still run across a copy of The Fool here every once in a while in a dollar bin.
Yeah.
Or a copy of Unforgiven. I only have like 2 or 3 of them left.
Do people bring them to you in shows?
Sometimes they do. Usually the stuff that really stands out that they bring to me at shows is the stuff I'm especially not proud of.
Yeah.
I think that's every creator going, this one.
I warn every creator, it's always the book that you like the least is the one you're going to sign the most.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then it's the one that's always going to stick out in your head. You like this? Ooh.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, we were told when we were at Cuba school, we were told that's going to basically going to happen. People are going to come up to you and you're going to look at it thinking, God, this is awful.
Yeah.
God, what was I doing when I made this? So don't ever say that, because for them that might be the most important book they've ever read.
Yeah, that'll be the book that
blow it.
This is the book that got me into comics. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they are
my favorite book.
They are bringing it up to you to get signed for a reason.
Yes.
So I've had guys bring me stuff I've done commercially at shows up for, hey, you did this ad. Hey, can you autograph this?
Oh, that's funny.
You want me to autograph that? I'll autograph that for you. Here, come here. Give it to me.
Funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
They
bring up books I forgot I've done anything in. Now, I had a guy bring me a printout of stuff that I had done freelance work in. And there was a good decade and a half there that I was just grabbing any job I could. Ink job here, lettering job there, writing job here. And he had a whole list of stuff. I went, I did that much. I don't remember doing that much, but that's cool.
It's got to be a bit scary. You might be a stalker, just following you. Everything you do.
He followed a lot of other people too. He was
in a cupboard and candles lit to it.
Well, what happened is big shrine. Hey, you never know. But this guy followed all of the 80s Arrow guys because we were all local.
Yeah.
And so he went through and followed everyone. Like he had a whole roster of Guy Davis, a roster of Vince Locke, that kind of thing.
Right.
So,
yeah, you find out like you have like a whole crew of guys who are local, and that becomes a thing. Yeah.
And it's when they bring you up a copy of Boo Voo or a copy of Showgirls magazine that you did a 1-page comic strip in, where you're like, outside.
Did you do this in Swank?
Is this Zim U? Is this Zim U? Yeah, I'm afraid that's me. Yeah.
Fan letters to
no. We have a friend who did illustrations for Jugs magazine, and yeah, he gets that a lot.
Right. Yeah.
sometimes those are the best paying gigs.
Yeah,
so,
they are.
So funny. The timing of your bird's whistle back there.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we need to remind our radio listeners that Daphne is working out of her studio. She does have a couple of parrots. So if you hear a smoke detector going off, a wild whistle, or a garbage truck backing up, that might not be in your neighborhood. It might be just
that's
Daphne's parrots.
It's pretty funny. She mentioned Jugs magazine and the parrot went whistle.
Yeah.
She hears it a lot.
Sometimes I
he hears it a lot.
Attention. Yeah, he hears it a lot.
Hears it a lot.
She trained the parrot,
Trained.
We did have a question up the line here, Roland, about Miss Fury, that you listed her as Ms. Fury instead of Miss Fury, MISS.
Yeah.
And was wondering if that had some public domain reasoning behind it.
Yeah. So Miss Fury is public domain. How can I say this?
You could be blatant here. Just
yeah, exactly.
So there's another publisher who has done Miss Fury, and they don't tend to believe that it's public domain, and I don't want to get into a fight with them. So it was just easier to change the spelling just a little bit.
It's like it's just like Archie Comics and all of their superheroes.
Yeah,
because all of those, that's a wonderful little gray area. I stopped by my local retailer and had to pick up
the Shield.
The Shield. Mr. Liefeld himself.
Yeah,
doing some Archie work. Had to take a look at that.
So yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, ultimately we just kind of kicked it around with some people I know who are familiar kind of with how this stuff works, and they said, just change it a little bit, and you should be okay. And so we did. I'm like, look, Miss Fury, MS. Let's just change it to MS. It's still Miss Fury. It's going to be based off the public domain character, but this way, this other publisher who thinks that they own it, but they don't. Maybe they won't be coming at us,
right?
For stuff. Because I just, I don't want to get into a fight. It's public domain. I don't want to get into a fight. So if it means I take away the I and the S, that's fine.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the public domain is such a gray area that's so undefined that that sooner or later somebody's going to get mad enough to carry it all the way through the court. And when they do, they're not going to be very happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
And who's got the bigger lawyers? So is it worth the fight?
That's
or not?
exactly.
Right.
No, we have a friend, Ray Felix, that he was in like 10 years worth of litigation with DC and Marvel over the trademark over superheroes. Well, I don't know if it's an actual trademark, but it's just something that DC and Marvel protect like a trademark.
They co-own.
Yeah. And
no. They think they co-own.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's a public use name.
It's a little. So he was in 10 years of litigation over it, and his lawyer told them that if you had the money to see it through, you could have broken that. You could have won that lawsuit. But that's the thing. He didn't have. Although the only consolation is that he's only one of two people who is legally able to use the word superhero.
Really?
In his publications, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like Mr. Burns and his team of lawyers marching into a room and they just sit down with you. And he's like, oh, okay.
But they said that if he had the money to do it, because they said that he had a case. It's just that what it is that you're fighting Marvel and DC, and the idea is to exhaust you.
Yeah. And really, superhero, supervillain are common use nouns.
Yeah.
It's just everybody uses them. Everybody's always used them. And nobody did a book called The Superhero or The Supervillain. But they tried in the past doing super villain team up and Marvel superheroes just to try to copyright that name. That's not the way that works. Really, all you have to be is litigious enough and angry enough to stick it out.
And Ray was that type for 10 years. It's just that. And
eventually you'll see both of the companies will back right down off of it because they don't want a definition. They want to be able to try to throw that weight around in order to get you to back down or stop doing superhero books. It's much the same reason why DC and Marvel have flooded the direct market for years with a lot of minutia product in order to try to keep the independents and the green section off of the shelves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why
That's
you
why
get
I'm
books like
with
Steel Grip
retro.
Starkey and his all-purpose power tool.
With retro, I'm just going with metahuman instead of superhero. You know,
Well, even that's DC metas.
That's become very very
Marvel has Marvels. You know, DC has metas.
right?
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's collusion between two companies over something they technically have no right to have control over.
I mean, if they're taking you to court over it, it means they're threatened by it. So you must be doing fairly well for them to be good about it.
Well, anymore when it comes to the publishing end, you're hearing less and less of those kind of lawsuits popping up because the larger corporations are starting to really not care.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, if you encroach upon their individual IP, that's a different story. If you do a Spider Boy, you're probably going to get into trouble. But if you get close, and you can think of how many variations of Superman there have been out over the years, especially during the 90s. There's Supreme and Legacy and all of these other crazy characters had the exact same powers. You're not going to see them slammed into court or even send a cease and desist anymore. Unlike what they did back in the old days when like Amazing Man popped up from Eisner and National Periodical slammed them into court real fast. So, but they got lazy with Captain Marvel from what I've read. They if they hadn't have pushed, they didn't push Captain Marvel until the Republic serial come out after the war, and then they took him to court. So. Yeah. That's a real legal can of worms. And like I was saying, most all of the Archie characters technically are in public domain. The early work has been reprinted by folks that recognize that property being in public domain. Comet and the early Shield material,
just like Steamboat
MLJ,
Willie
right?
is in the public domain, but yet try using that Steamboat Willie. Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Try using that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Well, you remember Malibu back in late 80s did the Uncensored Mouse, and Disney yelled at them and they yanked all the copies, but because they claimed that it wasn't public domain, but it was. Malibu had done this was before I got there. I just remember them doing it. They had taken all the public domain. I shouldn't say all. They had taken a bunch of the public domain Mickey Mouse stuff and reprinted it as Uncensored Mouse. And boy, they were jumped on quick. That book's probably, I would guess, it's probably worth a penny now.
Well, because what it is that they know that they kind of like ride that fine line between copyright and trademark. So it's like, it's like, oh yeah, it's in public domain, it's like copyright free, but we still have the trademark on that. So it's weird. But also they're just being bullies too, because
exactly.
Who has the time and the money to fight Disney?
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of gray area there.
Yeah. Yep. So it's from 1989. Eternity published it.
I don't ever remember seeing it.
Oh yeah, I remember it.
See if that'll pull up.
So I never, if I'm not mistaken, I never got a copy, and I asked for them. They said we had to pull it, and we don't have any more. But
they only did one issue.
Yep, just one issue, and Disney jumped all on them. This was the date. Wiki says the date is 1989, and it was a year before I moved out to California to work with them. So
I'm showing a solid black cover.
Yep, that's it.
Wow, it was that bad.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yep.
Yeah.
That's from comicshop.com.
Yeah.
mycomicshop.com.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little bit there. Cool. It's just blacked over. On there, there's a secondary black image popping through.
Oh,
it's like comic strip. It must have just all printed over top of it. That's volume 2. So there was a volume 1 out there somewhere.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a volume 2.
Yeah.
I'm only aware of the first one.
Eternity.
But, yep, Eternity Comics.
Uncensored Mouse. Yeah.
Yep. That's probably the one if you find in the cheap box you should get.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck
Good
with
luck
that,
finding that. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. Made me remember. We were talking about cheap boxes. I do buy my stuff from there as well. The only thing that I don't see of mine in the cheap boxes is the Planet of the Apes. I wrote a Planet of the Apes story, and I don't ever see any of those in the cheap boxes.
That was Malibu.
Adventure. Yeah. I see just about everything else, from time to time. But I don't.
Maybe they got yanked out because of the movies and stuff. So it's like, oh, well, there's a movie, so this is collectible.
I
now.
suspect so. And the other reason I suspect is that Planet of the Apes has remained kind of maybe not consistently, but kind of steadily in publication. Boom did it for a while.
Yeah.
Are they? I'm not even sure. Are they? They may still be doing it.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I know that they were publishing Planet of the Apes for a while. In fact, I sent Ross an email. I said, "Hey, you should collect my old Planet of the Apes into a trade," and he just smiled. Yeah. He sent me a message back and smiled. It's like I hear you. This is all you get.
Yeah. Well, then somebody would come back asking for royalties.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, that can't happen. That's been in the news lately with people talking about royalties and trying to get royalties for stuff they've created. And what I figure has happened is a lot of these people have gone out and boasted their print runs out to the media without thinking twice and over exaggerating their print runs, because then the talent comes back and says, "Hey, I get a royalty over 10,000 copies, and you sold 70. Where's my royalty check? Come on!"
Wow.
Well, and also there is that
we only sold 5.
Yeah.
We said we sold 70.
Yeah. Also, there is that lawsuit with Disney where it's like they're claiming that if they buy your contract, they own it, but they don't have any responsibility to pay you.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Which defeats the purpose of a contract to begin with. Like, they're literally litigating away the entire concept of contracts.
So you're saying, let me hear you. Yeah. Let me hear you right, because I missed
Alan Dean. It's Alan Dean Foster, I think. So what it is that they bought out another publisher, which had these Alan Dean Foster Star Wars novels that he did.
Okay. Yeah.
So Disney is claiming content. But they're saying they're disclaiming the responsibility of paying him for that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They actually are. Disney lawyers is just as creative as their Imagineers.
Yes, that's what they're arguing, that they don't have to pay his, like they're now not they own the content because it's Star Wars, but they don't, but because it's an old contract, that they don't have to honor it.
That's some hard bullshit to wrap your head around, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. So, but it isn't there. So help me. So isn't there some kind of
I think there's a class action. There's a class action lawsuit against them.
But there's some kind of precedent that says, hey, if I buy out you and you have a contract, I have to honor your contract.
Well, right. So Disney is trying to create the precedent for the opposite, where it's like, if we buy a company to get access to our content, it's like we're not responsible. We're no longer responsible for paying you for that, like royalties and stuff. And a lot of authors and a lot of other publishers have countersued. Because because that precedent is dangerous, because it completely null and voids the idea of contracts.
Right. And not just that, but it's crippled the royalties from a lot of these corporations. They now have an excuse not to pay until they figure out how that lawsuit's going to get settled out. Because
that is not cool.
Well, DC's having, apparently, this is my understanding, they're having folks that are signing contracts now that royalties are a gift that they give to the talent at their discretion.
Oh,
no way.
Yeah. So there are some people out there who created characters that they call up and go, "Where's my royalties?" And they're told, "No, screw you. You're not going to get nothing." Click. And other people that are making tens of thousands of dollars because the artist sat down and visualized a building that is used in a movie later on, suddenly a check comes in the mail that's 6 figures.
Right. Yeah.
Off of that, when these other guys are starving because they created some other side character that DC doesn't recognize the rights to.
Ed Brubaker, who created Winter Soldier, he famously said that he gets more for his cameo appearance in the film.
Yeah.
Because for creating the character.
But I think that's also the reason why he doesn't work for those companies anymore, because he was tired of seeing everybody else get rich off of his work except him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Peter Palmiotti, we are closing. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Peter.
I did get a call from DC when Aquaman, the movie, came out. And they, back in the day, I signed a contract that basically said, I'll get royalties now and I'll get, my page rate, but that's it. No future royalties. But when the Aquaman movie was happening, they sent me a new contract so that I would get royalties based on they put together a couple of trades with Peter David's books in them, and I was, part of that, and
that's good.
So that was nice of them. They changed the contract essentially, and
but
I got some
the fact
money.
That you're functioning under the largesse of a corporation, it's like this is a favor you're doing for them, or they're doing for you, as opposed to this. It's really.
And in the meanwhile, the Hero Initiative is still a viable charity that's looking and a good cause for anybody to contribute to out there. So I know quite a few people that have been helped by them deeply. Just for that reason,
need to depend on a charity if these corporations just do right to begin with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not like they need a lot; they just need a little.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Yeah.
All I'm hearing is I need to look at my Silverline contract very carefully. When this goes to the film, how much do I get? I can't remember. I get very, very quickly.
I was going to say, Peter Palmiotti, we are closing out. We're heading towards the end of our second hour. Is there anything that we need to promote for you? Do you have a campaign running right now? Or anything going on?
No. I'm working on too many projects as well as my own.
Cool.
So I'm too busy to do anything else. But I am streaming on YouTube. So go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I just passed 900 subscribers and heading towards 1,000 like you guys. So
there we go.
Excited.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. Super chats are amazing, even if YouTube does keep a third. So. And right now, Varian's in the back room right now, so we can talk about him. So, Varian, if you're around, do we have radio numbers? If you're there. If you're not there, that's fine.
Varian, are you there?
We want to help. About a week or so ago, we topped 100,000 listeners on our internet radio, and that means more broadband costs. So, having those super chats could come in very handy.
Mission control to Varian. Mission control.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah, I don't have radio numbers at the moment, but
that's okay.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, no, I don't have radio numbers. I wish I did. But
Good morning.
Yeah, it's good morning. Yeah, it's a lovely Sunday morning here. I was woke up early. I was woke up at 7 o'clock.
The butt crack at dawn, huh?
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah, I woke up at CG, and it's like, she's like, hey, the kid's like, hey man, are you gonna do your show? And I'm like, what?
It's like, it's not my show. It rolled over, went back
watching out for you.
Show
wants to make sure make sure Daddy gets on the show.
There you go.
Yeah, cracking down
about you.
Are you going on the show? I told him, I said, why do I gotta wake up this early, man? Well, the show starts at 9. Oh, I thought you wanted up. Don't you gotta eat? He knows I do everything at the last minute. Show starts at 9. We get about
8:55.
8:58.
8:58.
Yeah.
That's here. I was working on corrections until Daphne come into the green room.
Yeah, it's like I'm coming in like 5 minutes.
Daphne's here. We're going online here
exactly.
real soon. So gotta get up. Gotta get going. Joe says, "Morning, Varian."
Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, it's press publisher. Joe also says it sucks that Disney does not renegotiate and grandfathered contracts from companies they acquire. Yeah.
Well, that's what they're trying to fight.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They might find out really quickly that they do.
It's odd because they'll, Disney and whatnot. They'll fight to have those grandfather clauses go into effect I can't speak this morning, in contracts that they inherit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. No, if it benefits them, they're okay with the rules. But if it doesn't, then it's like, oh, we have to change this.
Because
and they're literally arguing over minuscule percentages of profit. Of profit, not of actual upfront costs.
Yeah. I've that Spider-Man contract that Sony has. Mm-hmm. Should Sony ever be sold as a company, or the movie rights? Sony sells a movie studio.
Back. Yeah, it
becomes null and void. Yeah,
it reverts back to Marvel, and so Marvel's thinking was, well, heck, if Sony really desperately wants to sell the movie division, every CEO they get is always like, you know what, this movie division makes no money. Why do we still have it? And it's like, Marvel knows they can get that back for free if because there's no way a judge is going to allow them to buy Sony at this point.
Right.
No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You never know. You can't never say never when it comes to corporate business like that.
So you're talking about the money just being a drop in the bucket. I got a story for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So so I teach at Full Sail University, right? Which is in Orlando, Florida. It's an entertainment university. Basically, that's we're teaching all of our programs here are designed for students to work in the entertainment university. Entertainment. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
I had been here about a year. I was teaching the master's program at the time, and a friend of mine, I won't mention his name, but a friend of mine was in probably one of the top 10 Batman artists of all times. And he hasn't done comics in a while. And I was like, dude, you should do comics. Let's do comics, blah, blah, blah. And so he cut a deal with me. He said, here's the deal. He said, you find a story that I like and someone who will pay me my rates, and we'll do a comic. And I'm like, cool, great. So I spent a couple months tossing story stuff back and forth. Got one that he liked finally. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, well now it's got your name attached to it. So his response was basically, good luck with that. And so I started submitting it around, and believe it or not, like people were like, yeah, no, we can't afford this artist. And that's not to say anything of the rest of the team, which, hadn't been really put together other than me. And so I was kind of complaining about this one point in time in a faculty meeting, right? Mm-hmm. And now in the master's program, when I was teaching the master's program, the majority of the instructors there come from the film industry. Okay. So, I said something about, how much would you need to do? Because we were talking about a graphic novel at the time. And they said, how much would you need? I'm like, hey, ballpark to cover all creatives, probably $20,000 maybe,
and they started laughing at you.
They did. They started laughing. And I'm like, what's so funny? And the girl who was sitting next to me, she said, that's our catering budget.
Yeah.
And I went, what? Yeah. You spend that much money just to feed people? Yeah. And I'm trying to make a doggone comic?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Welcome to the world of funny books. Yeah.
But look at it, think how much money we're going to make. Yeah, and that's why there have been a lot of artists, speaking of Guy Davis, they work in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Because they're making significantly more money. I mean, I don't want to say on less effort because making those movies is, but the thing is though, they're getting paid money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's why they all fight for Netflix deals and stuff because you can't survive in comics unless you know how to finagle how to do it.
Right. Yeah, and that's what he's been doing. He was doing he did storyboards for movies.
Yeah.
For some time. So yeah, it's just it's unfortunate because as I look at this guy's art, I'm like, man, you really should be drawing comics.
Yeah.
So. I when I was younger, I did a lot of commercials, and I remember there was a Say Yes to Michigan commercial that we did, and my parents used to really get upset with me because
Varian actually did work for the Michigan Tourism Board.
Yeah,
cool.
And
Put it right around.
I spread their propaganda around. Yeah. And the thing was, I would always I would talk to the other kids that were there, but I also love to talk to the directors and people, the guys walking around these big cameras. And as much as my parents would beg me to leave these poor people alone, I wouldn't. Right. But I remember seeing the lowliest of the lows in the, because I was the talent, so I was put on the echelon, but I want to see everybody. So these poor people coming in, rolling these carts, I want to talk to them because they're bringing in food. But I remember one of the guys who brought the food in. He looked at me, and I guess because I was this annoying kid, he says, "Hey, could you take this over to the lady with the headphones, this and piece of paper?" I'm like, "Sure." Well, you weren't gonna hand 7-year-old Varian a piece of paper without him looking at it. And I remember it was the invoice for the food they brought. That they put on this long table in the back of the studio. And I remember looking at it, and that was the only time that I had seen that many zeros behind a number. And I'm like, I remember thinking to myself, let's see, wait a minute. This says 4, but there's 4 zeros after it.
Nice, man.
And it was $4,000 just to feed us.
Probably
lunch.
for like one, just the lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the 90s, right? Probably back in the 90s.
This must have been about 93, 94. Yeah. And I'm like, they'd already brought breakfast there when I got there. This is lunch. How much is dinner going to cost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good business.
But
really.
Honestly, I think it has also a lot to do with the fact that Hollywood is a union town. That like pretty much you can't work in Hollywood without being in a union. So that's really where a lot of that comes from too. And we know comics is not union at all.
And let me tell you about the greed. After that, the residual greed that I felt afterwards. I went to my father after I get laid to the thing. I walked to my dad and said, "Dad, that thing I just gave that lady says they owe $4,000." He says, "Yeah, it's a lot, huh?" Shh. I'm like, no. And I said, "They only paid me $150 an hour." That was what I said. They only paid me $150 an hour when they could afford to pay them $4,000 for lunch. I want more.
I've had that. I've drawn books on, and my page rate's been whatever my page rate is, right? So it's not, it's not going to break anyone's bank. But then it goes to Kickstarter, and within 15 minutes, they've got $50,000 on Kickstarter. I'm like, man, I should have asked for more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad was some unkind things in my ear that day.
Those are such rare circumstances. It's like landing that Netflix deal that you have somebody walk out. And then that usually comes with a long history of building up a reputation so that somebody goes, so-and-so's got a Kickstarter. Oh, I'm in.
Yeah. I tend to advocate that regardless of what your rate is, you should almost, as a freelancer, you should almost always get a royalty. Yeah. Even if they say, hey, look, we're going to pay you a really high page rate, because because I've done projects where they just a flat rate, you don't get anything else, and but you always kind of like Pete was saying, it's like, what if you sell like 1 million copies, and all I've been paid is this flat rate, and that's it, so. My thoughts are always, hey, if they want to pay you a flat rate, to say, hey, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 copies, whatever. But, you should always say, look, if you sell more than this, then you guys are doing really well. I should get a piece of that. Mm-hmm. Give me, 1 tiny %. But at least there's something there. Yeah. If they do really well.
There's a problem with writers, perhaps who aren't experienced too much in comics, who've come up with an idea. They think, well, I'm just going to hire an artist and a colorist, and they're going to bring my idea to life, but it's my idea. And I've had contracts, guys send me contracts saying, it's a work for hire contract, you draw it. When I shop this around to movie studios, you're entitled to nothing. This is mine. I'm like, but you've just written it. I've got to design the characters for it. People are going to buy the book that's got the art in it. It's not just your idea.
Right.
Here's the caveat.
It's collaborative.
Though. Yeah. Here's the caveat, though. I mean, it's like we're talking about companies who like that's their purpose, because a lot of people, they hear this information and they think that it also like you know that they can request the same thing from the one guy who just wants to put out a Kickstarter for his one comic, which maybe might sell like 50 copies on Kickstarter. And it's like, well, you know, the professional rate is, you know, $75 a page, you know, or $150 a page. That's what I should be getting for you, you know, it's from you. And it's like, dude, it's like, I'm only selling 50 copies. I mean, what are you expecting? So it's like, you really have to look into the context of who you're approaching and who's approaching you. You know, is this just, you know, a local artist who wants, you know, to just like, you know, spruce up his comic a bit, and, you know, he wants to get a, you know, like maybe better coloring, or maybe like a better inker or something, or maybe he has an idea that it's like, oh, you know, something that I can sell at a comic convention. But if someone comes up to you saying, yeah, we're going to be shopping this around to studios, now you're talking about a different level of a creator slash company you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So
but I also think
in mind who's approaching you or who you're approaching before you go, well, I should get royalties or I should get this. You know?
I also think there's a good faith thing too. It's like, you know, I don't create comics because I want a Netflix show.
Right.
Now, let me be very clear to say, if Netflix approaches me tomorrow, I'm all ears. You know,
right? Yeah.
But I love comics. I'm a comic book guy, right? I you know, I watch Netflix some. I'm not even a TV guy, really. And so I'm not making comics with the idea of pitching these things to you know, television, film, whatever. But I think what happens too is that there's got to be a good faith thing. You have to feel that, okay, I'm in a collaborative relationship that if this happens, the joy, the love is going to be spread around.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, you guys probably remember this and help me get my details right. But I think we're also hurt by the idea that someone, a big name like Robert Kirkman, screwed over his original artist.
Oh yeah, he went, you know, all like Walking Dead went all big, and then he was like, oh, you know, new phone, who dis? You know, I mean, it's like, really, dude?
I forget you'll help me. Tony Moore,
I believe, yes.
Yeah,
Tony Moore, yeah.
It's like all of a sudden he didn't know the guy, and it's like, really, dude, don't be that guy.
It's even deeper than this. Now, this has been some years ago in the news, but apparently. What happened, and somebody check my facts here, but apparently what happened is he had already had a deal with Tony that said, hey, you know, if we do make a movie or whatever, we're co-owners with this, right? Well, he offered Tony to buy him out. He said, look, I'm going to buy you out. Here's $10,000. Now, I'm thinking, someone offers me $10,000. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it, right? $10,000.
That's what they're counting on too. You know,
so literally what happens is he offers Tony Moore the money, buys him out, and then within a couple of weeks, the Walking Dead show was announced. So he basically cut him out of everything. Now,
and also you could tell it was completely strategized to cut him out before the whole thing finally hit.
Yes. And now, you know, this was
grimy. And he deserved to get sued for that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, this was in the news all a couple of years ago, and I didn't follow it all, but you know, I remember reading it, going, that was spite,
is what that was. That was fraud and spite. And that's why he lost that lawsuit. Because what was the difference to him? A simple phone call. Hey, Tony, I know we don't get along, but we're about to make you rich.
Right.
I'm going to be rich too. Thank you.
Right.
You know, click.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. It's not like he became like, it's like they were both going to be wealthy.
Yeah.
But he decided that he was going to be an asshole about it.
Yeah.
If I could cheat this guy out of, it's like, and that's the thing too. It's like, if somebody came to you with $10,000, it's like, they're counting on the fact that you've never had this money before all at once. Mm-hmm. And to be like completely starstruck by that money without realizing that it's like, he's giving you $10,000 to block you out of the million that's coming within 2 weeks.
Millions.
Or Of course, you didn't know it was going to be millions at the time, but at least thousands. They
had a good idea it was going to roll, though.
I've always kind of like Pete says, I've always been under the idea, the impression that it's a collaborative effort. My comics don't exist without the artist. Listen, you guys are going to hear me. We're here, partly to push this Kickstarter, and I'm going to tell you how fantastic Silverline Team Up looks, and I'm going to tell you that it's a fun story. You're going to read it. You're going to enjoy it. When you're done at the end, you're going to say, "That's cool. I'm ready for the next issue." But it doesn't exist without Pete, without Tommy, without Roberta. It doesn't exist. It exists right here and here only without them.
I mean, the way I look at it is that if I'm shining, everybody's shining. We're in this together, because it's like, you know what? It's kind of like being the only person with money surrounded by all your broke ass friends. I want all of us to prosper.
Right.
I want so that we can all have fun together.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
Well, I'm sure there's a couple of good books on the way talking about Walking Dead as a property and the evolution that it had gone through. Because I believe Frank Darabont just settled his suit like a week or so ago. That he got slammed out of the production and was due a lot of royalties that he gets finally. Really? After what 10 years of litigation.
Is this from the TV show?
Yeah. From the TV show.
I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, I believe it was just settled a week or so ago.
Wow.
And it was settled in his favor because he was contractually, he was obligated to get that royalty.
So what we're saying is that there's a
long history of wonderful stories surrounding that property.
Walking Dead, So Robert Kirkman, right?
I think it wasn't. It was the production company. It wasn't Kirkman involved in this one. But there's a number of stories attached to that production. If you've been following it at all, I had a couple of friends that did some prints for conventions, and they got slammed with a cease and desist from AMC.
Really?
That were Walking Dead and told no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the first minute they popped up on eBay, they got a cease and desist.
Wow.
Yeah.
They backed off on that really quick once they realized
Alien's another one. Anyone does anything Alien, they used to slam on them immediately.
Really?
Strange. It's now all the owned by Disney.
It's a strange fine line of the whole. I mean, it's like you have a completely separate conversation about fan art and companies and because honestly, the only people that I've seen, I mean, and I've heard of the whole thing about fan art getting slammed with cease and desist, but honestly, the people I've personally seen studios go after in terms of you can't have this on your table are artists that they've hired.
Wow.
They were trying to sell prints of the stuff on the side
of the artist.
Really?
And they would get busted at conventions. We saw one guy who was selling Predator prints. He had his stuff. He had an executive, like one of these executives, come over, and he was like, "Oh, you got to get this shit off the table. We paid you for this already." I mean, it was just like, it was really, really awkward. We were like, we had the table across from him. Weird. And it was just like really right. I know Adam Hughes had a print pulled. It's the Supergirl flying, and you see the airplane underneath her. And he was trying to sell his own prints of that. And DC came over to his table and asked him what the F he was doing. We paid you for that.
Really?
So
So out of character.
Ghost Rider, one of the original Ghost Rider artists. But then again, he was, I think was more punitive.
That's Gary Friedrich.
Gary Friedrich got slammed real hard for that.
Yeah, because he was countersuing to get the rights back to Ghost Rider. So every time he was at a show, executives would come over and tell him to get all his Ghost Rider shit off.
Right. Yeah, because he had printed T-shirts. I think
that was more punitive. Yeah, I think that was more punitive than anything. Yeah.
Because I think they slapped him with about $17,000.
Yeah, because I think he lost that lawsuit.
He did,
yeah. It was some crazy amount. Yep.
Yeah. So fan art. It's like, look, it's like I always go by this. It's like, everyone keeps saying how fan art is a gray area. It is not a gray area. If you do not have the rights to use a company's character, it's bootleg.
That's right.
All you goddamn anime kids who got all of my ass about that. It's like, no, your shit's bootleg. And the only reason you get away with it is because you're lucky.
You haven't been caught, or they don't care.
Right.
They don't want to chase after it. That's the
thing.
Yeah. They want to chase after it, you get chased
lucky,
after it.
But don't get it twisted. Your shit is bootleg.
Yep.
And that's it.
It's free advertisement until you start making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, hang on a minute, we can make that money. It's our character.
Right, exactly.
Or if you use the property in the wrong direction.
Right.
Like Air Pirates, for example.
Well, but again, it's like that depends too. I mean, because it's like, you don't have to search hard to see a lot of like a DC and Marvel porn at a convention.
Oh no.
Under the table.
Right. But again, do not get it twisted. If you do not own the copyright, you do not own the right to make those prints.
You're absolutely right.
You do the artwork yourself. Period. That's what it is.
You're saying I should be on the lookout for Roland's lawyers to turn up when I'm at the next convention.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We paid you for this already. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my army of lawyers. That's right.
Huge army. Yes.
We paid you for this.
And with that, we want to thank everybody for listening to the episode of Sunday Funnies for the 25th of July, 2021. We deeply appreciate you all listening or watching. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button under the Indie Volt channel. Please do it, and do it now. Peter Clinton, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me on the interweb. You just type in Peter Clinton Art, A-R-T, and you'll find me everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, Google, Twitter. I even joined the TikTok.
No!
Yikes!
You're gonna be dancing. You're gonna be dancing.
That's what TikTok is, isn't it? It's just a video for dancing people.
I was gonna say, funny, you don't look like a young teenager.
No,
he's gonna twerk tomorrow.
Yeah.
My videos.
This is how I do my comics.
I'm on the TikTok. You can look for me, but look for Instagram first.
It's under Peter Clinton Twerk.
Yeah. I'm gonna change that right now.
Peter Palmiotti, thanks so much for coming on the show. Do you want to tell folks how they can find you?
Yeah, besides YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all around the web. You can contact me directly or contact me through my art rep, Philip Russert, if you want me to do inking on your book or commissions or what have you.
I was talking to him yesterday.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Roland, tell folks how they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me all over the interwebs. Roland Mann. Sometimes it's Man Roland. I think it's that way on Twitter. But you can mostly find me hanging out with Silverline, which Peter and I will be on streaming again tonight. That will be 8 p.m. Right. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Where we will be talking about what you've got on the screen, and we'll be talking about the Kickstarter some more. I can see the numbers there. We're at 81 backers, 2752. So we've got about 13, 12, 50 to go. And we've still got a week to go. So well within striking distance, but we need those folks to go ahead and pull the trigger. You heard Pete talking about it tonight. It's a fun book. It's both of them are fun books. You're going to enjoy both of them. Two very different books. Back now, they are complete. So all we need is to get the funds so that we can print them and ship them to you for your enjoyment.
Fantastic.
Sweet.
Daphne, tell folks how they can find you.
Sure. You can head over to my main portfolio site at eagleworks.com, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But I mostly post to Facebook if you're into seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. But I also post to Twitter too if you're more into my cranky auntie comic style. Also you can check out my YouTube channel for weekly art live streams, mostly on Wednesdays. You can read the first 5 issues of Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free in its original black and white format. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings adventure, you can head over to Tall Tales, TILSonline.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. And also don't forget to sign up for our monthly newsletter, because we still have several campaigns we're going to be that's going to be going live before the end of the year, so you don't want to miss out on that. Thank you.
Varian, you want to tell folks how they can find you?
Sure. KYD_V on Twitter. Check out indievolt.com, indievoltawards.com, which I think our design C for the trophies won out yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That was a good design.
Yeah.
It's Roland. It's an award show where they give away actual trophies.
Oh, really?
Yes.
like real handheld.
Yeah,
trophies?
like real trophies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not a brick. Not a brick.
I think that's why I couldn't think of that Divinity Award earlier, because it came in an email and I don't remember what it was.
I hear you. Yeah. But this is going to be an actual show at Dave & Buster's. That'll be broadcast live any place that we can put it. I'm sure it'll be on Indie Volt Radio and that. Where we're going through and trying to raise awareness for independent and alternative comics, no matter how they're seen. It's not a popularity contest. It's a judged event. Varian went around and found, I think it was a half a dozen people that were gullible enough to read a bunch of books and judge them for their merit, and quality. And those books are the ones that are going to get physical awards that they can actually show off to people.
Cool.
And be proud of, in order to raise awareness for independent and alternative comics. That comes up on September 18th here at it'll be here on the interwebs, but also we'll be live at Dave & Buster's doing an actual awards show. Yeah.
Very cool. We'll be at Daytona Beach Comic Con on September 18th.
There we go. Well, you can watch it on your phone then.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we're gonna stream it live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We stream live straight from Dave & Buster, so we're looking forward to that.
Sounds fun.
The award show still got a lot of still got a little time for people to enter, but so indievoltawards.com, indievolt.com, the regular news station. Download your IndieVolt Radio app on Google Play. Download IndieVolt TV on Roku.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for IndieVolt Radio on iPhone too, you can download the Streamer or TuneIn app, and you can get that there.
Now, you're going to be able to. Are you going to be able to stream the award show off of your Roku channel?
We're working on it. I would like to. I'm just. They've been having a lot of problems with lag lately.
Oh,
man. So I'm just concerned that there'll be a tremendous amount of lag, and I'm trying to keep the experience. Well, they will be put up there later when I don't have to worry about the lag. But the live streaming, I've been noticing a lot of lag out of it this past like 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure by September they'll have it worked out. But I don't want to say and then everyone has a bad experience.
Exactly. I hear you.
Getting it live won't do our YouTube, but it will be placed up there after the show. And then, of course, Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group, ledg.us, where we're distributing indie comics into comic stores and beyond.
Retail shops take note.
I just had.
Yes.
Well, I guess I tell you. I can tell you guys this. I got a phone call yesterday around about 6:00 p.m. From another distributor, and they want to know how are you doing this? What
are you doing? How are you doing this?
Yeah, they want to know what we're doing, how we're doing it.
Was it a big name distributor?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They want to know what we're doing, how we're doing this, and You know, yeah. I mean, they weren't happy with me. I couldn't believe it. Actually, I didn't even. I just kind of like,
how dare you try to make money for them retailers?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. It's like, how dare you? You know, it was. Yeah, it was. I can talk more about that off the air, but it was a very awkward conversation.
I have to ask: did you laugh at them maniacally and say you don't even know half of it?
No.
And you should have.
I just I answered their questions the best I could. You know, they kind of want the secret sauce a bit, and I was like, "Well,
there is no secret sauce."
Yeah.
I mean, that's the funny thing about it. It's like, dudes, you know, you have to do the research on independent comics and who you
tell them it's ranch dressing and ketchup.
Yeah, exactly.
Their issue was
with a little bit of mayonnaise.
A little bit of mayonnaise, yeah. Some relish. Yeah.
Their issue was that Liberty Pledge that we have, which is where we buy the books back from a retailer.
How mandy!
Sell them.
One of those, you're making us look bad. If you do it, we're gonna have to do that too. And it's like, dude, that's a you problem.
And they didn't like. They also like the fact that we don't take a fee from the publishers.
Yes,
we don't take a fee, and you know they were like, "This is not sustainable," and you're gonna, I'm like, I was gonna. I'm the Antichrist of comic distribution.
It's like, yes, exactly. It's unsustainable. See if we're around in 3 years. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go.
And it's like, look, you know, and that's the thing too.
If you're around
if I'm not around in 3 years, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Oops. Yep.
Why are you coming at me now?
Yeah.
You're
concerned?
concerned?
If you want to keep upsetting those people, go to ledg.us.
Yeah, exactly.
ledg.us.
Uh-huh.
More retailers are signing on every week because once they realize, and I keep telling you, Varian, we need to do an introductory video about Liberty's process because a lot of folks don't believe you.
Yeah.
They don't understand that you spent years looking at it. You talk to people who have retailed. You talk to people who've retailed for over a decade, and you know the system.
Yeah.
And you work inside the system. You try to make. There's a lot of retailers out there right now that have been screaming for years, even before all these problems in 2020 that sprung up, that about trying to make money. You know, and all of their problems about the independents and the alternative, all their gripes about the green section. And how that Liberty is designed to go and beat that completely, especially in favor of the retailer. You order, you get the books in, you put them on your shelf, you sell them. You don't have to order, wait for 3 months, worried that the independent publisher is still going to be around by then, worried that the independent publisher is going to bother to kick out a number 2. You're going to see everything listed right there on site, and anything listed is available to go into a box and get shipped to you the next day. As soon as the shipping, because you don't know how long it's going to take to ship. As soon as that box gets to your doorstep, you take them out. They're bagged and boarded. You put them on your shelf and you sell them.
Yeah, books come bagged and boarded. I call it from ship to shelf. Where
ship to shelf.
We ship them to you. Take them right out. It takes about 2 days to get to you. We try to keep the Amazon model. You order the books; they're going out that day. Especially if you order them before 5 o'clock. If it's after 5, we'll put them in the mail, that very next morning.
Yeah.
And get them moving for you. We want to get those books in your hand before your customer. Is your customer? It's nothing. Like it's weird because so many people are kind of used to that old model, that old 3-month model and stuff. And it's not what we're doing.
Which is ridiculous.
We have our books in hand. They're ready to go, and the vendors who've been buying from us, they so far they appreciate that. They appreciate getting their books quick. And I've only had one store say, "Hey, could you not bag and board, man?"
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yep. And that's because he doesn't do a bag and board. He doesn't have a bag and board.
Well, if you bag and board them, they have to bag and board all of their stuff too. Just like that distributor calling you up, going, "Well, how dare you?" Like the ninja.
How dare you? Like
how dare you?
How dare you? How dare you? You set up your packaging so that the stuff doesn't come damaged.
Yeah, well, we got something for that too. We also have bubble mailer bags that we stuff the books in as well. So the enemy wrap that in bubble wrap. So it's like those books should not get damaged. So hopefully we'll still put his books. We'll still put a board in one of those bags, bubble bags. We'll fasten that down. Then we'll wrap that in a one sheet of bubble wrap, bigger bubble wrap. We'll put that in the box because I don't want those books arriving them damaged.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Somebody's calling.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, they're like,
It's
"Are
your
you on the
student
air,
loan.
Roland? Mr. Mann, are you on the air? We're here to talk to you about your extended car warranty."
Yeah, right.
It's another distributor trying to get in quick.
Yeah. And hey, folks, in order to finish off the talk about Liberty Arrows, very, very happy to be exclusive through Liberty. Our first books are going to be here next week. We can't wait.
Yeah.
We're going to have them in hand. Next Sunday, we'll probably be doing an Arrow special. I know we'll be doing an Arrow special later in the, I believe, later in the afternoon for JD's program. Where I think Varian and I will be back on JD's program, JD's channel later tonight, talking about comics and stuff. I think that starts at 7:30.
I think so too, yeah.
Arrow Comics will be doing Hero Bot Zero #1. Will be out there and available for sale. We'll be doing a 32-page version of the Revolt comic, in fact, with a more detailed cover than the one that you see there. We'll be doing Luke Stone's Hybrids #1, and Luke Stone's currently working on issue 10, so you're not going to have to worry about whether or not is this book going to be coming out monthly or not. He's working on issue 10 as we speak, and we'll be serializing the Only Death Can Save Us graphic novel and the entire series, because Russ Leach plans on doing more than that. If you haven't seen that book, incredibly professional, very polished work. Can't wait to show it to you. Can't wait for you to see it. And then in September, we'll be doing the second issue of Revolt, which I'm just working on finishing up the print file for that now. That'll be available later in September. And then we're also doing right here, Paragon #1, which is a great superhero title. I can't wait for folks to read. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Calico, which is a high fantasy book. The wife just read it yesterday. Said it's the favorite thing that I've written of hers so far.
Nice.
So, I'm real happy to do that. See Michael Lanning's doing the artwork on that, and it's turned out incredibly well, except for all of the misspellings that I'm currently correcting.
Wow. Par for the course.
Are we doing a special issues later today, Mr. Grant?
I don't believe so. No.
We have a week off.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, the Webtoon show is currently being reworked on Mondays, but Tuesday night we have the Live Wire program at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Varian and myself. We're talking more about the comic industry. On Wednesday night, the Indie Princess and Daphne, along with Nita and Meredith, host Geekgasm, which is comics from a more female perspective. And then Thursday morning, Daphne returns with Varian and myself for the Breakfast Buzz. We're looking forward to that. On Fridays used to be Art of War, which is a draw stream that we're currently reconfiguring now, just like it came from Webtoons. On Saturday at 2:30 p.m., we have Pitches Be Crazy. And that is an incredibly unique comedy, almost a comedy show. Would you say it's a comedy, like almost a game show?
Yeah. The only show where the host opens his wallet instead of his mouth.
Pardon me, where people with campaigns come on and pitch their campaigns under different themes. And then the most entertaining of those campaigns gets backed by Indie Vote.
Up to $50.
Up to $50.
Yep.
Cool.
And then again on Sunday, we'll be back here again, myself and Daphne, and probably Varian, if he can get up early enough, for another episode of Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. You never know who's going to pop in. We're so grateful to have Peter Palmiotti swing by, and Peter, next time, try to be a little bit quieter. But you're always welcome on the. You're always welcome on the show, but we love watching you work.
It's
always
my
good to have
internet and delay.
Yeah. We'll have you on to talk more about retro in detail here when you get ready with your campaign. You're always welcome on the show, buddy. Anytime you want to come on. All right. And Peter Clinton. Oh, thank you. Thanks for coming on. Peter Clinton, thanks a lot for coming on. Roland, thanks a lot for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Always
thanks for having us.
Yep.
Anytime.
And let's see here. Back up on the comments. We have Marvi asking Daphne, any last words?
Why, absolutely. buy independent comics, especially ours.
Right.
And don't forget to check out Marvy's Sin Killer on Indiegogo, by the way.
Yes, please go over there and look at that. That's a campaign that does need your eyes and help. That's the Sin Killer over on Indiegogo. Also, make sure, don't forget to look at the Silverline team up book over on Kickstarter. Miss Fury and Champion, as well as Bear. Marvy says that's a t-shirt right there, Daphne. Right there.
Oh, thank you.
And as Varian wants to remind everybody, please, please, please leave this industry in better shape than what you found it. We wish you nothing but the best. And Varian has stepped out for a few minutes, or he would have said it himself. But we can take off without him. And we appreciate everybody being there. We appreciate everybody listening in. We wish you a great rest of your weekend, and we hope your upcoming week is a good one. Here I am scrambling. Oh, look at that picture! How did that get on there?
Wow.
Right out of the printer.
Sexy.
Woo.
Nice.
Look at all them. Wow, that's a lot of books.
That is a lot of books.
That's a lot.
How's that going to work? Liberty Distribution, folks. Tell your retailer. Stay tuned. Lots more happening.
Yeah.
And we're out here for this. We're going out the same way we came in with our introduction, and then we'll see you back next Sunday. Actually, we'll see you back Tuesday night for the Live Wire program here on Indie Vote. So everyone, take care. Be safe. We'll see you soon.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.
How dare you!